people, welcome. Woo. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're going to take a look at the Boss Fight Studio Legends of Lucha Libre, Penta 0M, and Rey Fenix. And since they are part of Wave 1, let's look at the accessory packs Lucha de la Muerte and Lucha Extrema. Extrema? This week's been a weird week. Sunday, when I was golfing on Twitch, I was telling everybody about how I had no plan for the review on Monday. I didn't have anything new. I thought, oh, maybe I could dig something up. And then the SH Figuarts Mandalorian Armorer showed up on my doorstep that morning. Like, oh. Tuesday rolled around. I started thinking, what the hell am I going to do Wednesday? And boom, these hit my mailbox. It's an action figure miracle. Looking at the packages of the two figures, it actually took me a minute to realize what was messing with me. How Penta's background is orange and Fenix's background is blue. Yeah, I'm real quick on the uptake. The fire, the water, nice minimalistic feel to it. They didn't try to throw too much stuff at the packaging. Got little headshots of each wrestler. On the side, some window just to get some light in there, names, logo. On the back, pretty promotional shots of both the characters and actual real-life pictures of them in action. On the other side, pictures, well, larger pictures of those headshots at the bottom, and that's when I realized the figures aren't in the same ring gear as the pictures are. And then for the accessory packs, same design. You see most of what you get in there. The table's kind of in the background on this side. On the back, shows you what you got. On the bottom is all your legalese, all the credits, which is always cool. But let's get these open and see what's going on here. We're going to look at the figures first, come back around for the accessories. Well, okay, there was a packet in the box, too, that nearly went out with the box. I forgot that this was a thing. A couple of prints of the guys with the concept art for the figures themselves. This may go up in the office or something. I need some frames. No seams on bottom. Oh, it's resealable packaging. You can pull the inserts out from the back, too, if you want some background action. And it's a full-on tray, cover and all. Try not to break the fluorescent tube here. That's solid. Definitely not going to break. Oh, so much fun. I usually take an hour or so to take pictures, to mess around before actually getting into this part. It's been several hours. The figures do share some parts. I believe the arms are the same on both. Same wrist straps. This one's bigger. Kind of angles up. Same thing here. Pretty positive the legs are the same parts. Same wrinkles around the knee. The knee pads are the same with that kind of flat look. Same boots, same kick pads, same feet. But the hands are different. Penta wears gloves, so there are appropriate seams where they need to be. Penta also has this hangy down belt piece that's unique. It's not over here. The bottom underneath. Yeah, it's about the same. And then, of course, the torsos are obviously different. And do I even have to point out the heads? Looking at Fenix first, the texture on the torso jumped out at me. It helps add to the realism a bit, but the arms are pretty smooth, and I think it's a different plastic, so there's slight shade difference to the skin tone. But it's also under my heavy lights. You get them in a regular display, normal lighting, it's not as obvious. Something I just noticed, and something you don't see a lot of with shirtless action figures, and that is nipples. And I don't mean that as, he's got nipples. What I mean is it's one of those things that you don't notice on a lot of characters until it's pointed out. But Fenix has nipples. Can I say nipples again? Nipples. But look how crisp and clean the tattoos are. That's just amazing to look at. Even the intricate little tattoos on the hands hanging down right here. And the designs on the ring gear, oh, so clean. So nice. And I like that extra sheen here. It adds a nice contrast to the skin, even though it's slightly shiny, but you could excuse that as being sweaty or something. But this looks like ring gear material. And then you get down to the dullness of the boots because they're just kind of a black leather. More tattoos on the back. Oh, well, and coming all the way around to the side. This side too. And then there's the mask. Oh man, it feels like there was so much care taken to get this translated into plastic form. This part going over the front, I think that's a separate piece to make it rubbery out here on the what could be pointy edges. You can see the line kind of going right there, which helps hold it in place. There's always a chance that it could be offset or something, but you look at the eyes and that's how Fenix looks on TV. This being a separate piece too, they could get in there and paint the eyes before applying it, so that helped in that department too. Because the eyes are nice and clean, the lips a little pinkish. Feel like there should be brown in there to bump the realism up a bit. But I've always been a mark for Penta's ring gear because there's just something so sinister about it. The blacks, the reds, the whites sometimes. He's got that Venom looking thing going on at the moment. Or well, he did at some time recently. Every little detail on the torso is sculpted in. And there's a difference in sheens. The matte black, the gloss black, the glossy red. Some of that detail could have got lost, but they did a fantastic job of making it stand out a bit. Clean paint to the Z and the M, and then the red coming around in this design. Same on the back. It's got to hang down on the side. And then the paint running down the boots. Again, shared boots, no seams for the edges here. But they did follow the boot design for the reds at the foot. Same thing with the tattoos, so colorful. You can go through and pick out each little detail and see what's going on. Same thing on this arm with the skulls and everything running down, and even on the inside. I love this one, just because of the different colors used. You gotta think that there was a lot of back and forth between the factory and boss fight, going, no, this needs to be this needs to be tightened up, the colors need to be inside the lines here. But of course, my favorite part is the head. Just this hood look, the painted on skull on the chin. This could look a little bit more transparent, see some skin tone under, make it look like it's actually makeup, but I can't complain about that. The red on the dragons on the side runs around, running up to this star on the forehead. Got a tie in the back with kind of the bandana look hanging down. This is all one piece though. It's the eyes that do it. Again, a lot of room for error there, but they nailed it. They did such a great job of looking straight at you, straight through you, straight into your soul. Or you can dip it down a bit. Looks so mean. My favorite thing about both these figures is they kept it simple. I mean, they added a lot of articulation. Everything is functional, but they also didn't go overboard with it. I almost expected drop down hips, but instead they went for a rubber crotch piece to allow all the movement. It's easier to see on here. You bring it up, you can see it flex back a little bit. Well, hell, Fenix can go that far. Bringing it back down, sometimes it does get caught when you're trying to straighten it out. You twist a little bit, work it back in, and you can go back under the trunks, or well, the crotch piece. Fenix's elbow pads are also a separate piece made out of a rubbery material. It gets in the way slightly, but not much. And then like I talked about, the mask part, the hang down in the back, the front, that's all flexible too. That's the same for Penta's belt, flaps, and the mask hanging down on the shoulders. You'd think that gets in the way, but no, it's nice. It's not soft, but it's pretty soft. Since both figures share some parts, I'm going to go over articulation, kind of jump back and forth between the two figures where it may be hindered a little, but to also show full range when necessary. There is a dumbbell joint at the neck, and you can already see me tilting the hell out of it, but can look up and look down. So much tilt. And then of course swivel. Penta, same thing, and even though this is soft, it may be hindered just slightly. It still has all the tilt, so much. Dumbbell joint at the shoulder with this cap piece, so it can go up, it can drop down, forward, back, all around essentially. Hinge at the end of that comes up, past 90, swivels all the way around. Swivel at the bicep. Like I showed double elbow on Fenix, elbow pad gets in the way just ever so slightly. But you can see without the elbow pad, he's touching his thumb to his shoulder. And if you don't want the elbow pads, you can slide them off by removing the hand. In the package, the figures had their gripping hands on. There's a swivel and there is a hinge up and down because it's a weapon holding hand. Oh, so delicious. Dumbbell joint mid-torso. Can I get it arced back enough to see down in there? And then ball joint at the waist. You can already see arcs way back. Forward, you have to kind of shift the top part a little bit. Can crunch down. A little disjointed at full range. Back a little bit. Most of it's in the waist going forward. Tilt and tilt and tilt. Tilt, 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 tilt. Been playing with these for a couple of hours. Haven't noticed much looseness, and I'm going full hula hoopy there. What happened? Ball joint coming out to the hip, can come up. Very nice range. And back and out. Better than Spider-Man. On Penta, I think it's this thing, or I don't know. His leg doesn't seem to want to raise. Well, okay. It's almost there. If anything, it's just a degree or two less. Swivel integrated into the top of the leg. You can't go all the way around with it, but you can get enough. Double knee. Oh. Swivel at the top of the boot. Hinge at the ankle goes back. Forward a little bit. Forward facing pin for rocker. For accessories, Fenix comes with 2 grip hands. He comes with 2 splayed out hands. And then he comes with 2 fists. Penta comes with 2 grip hands, 2 splayed out hands, and then 2 Cerro Miedo hands. And I apologize if I mispronounced that. This may be one of my few gripes with these figures. Oh my god, these are so tight. There's kind of a triple groove to it, and it pops every one. If I were more cautious, I would probably heat that up a bit before swapping out. Another thing to watch out for when you pull this off, these bands are separate pieces. They do have a tendency to pop off sometimes. Pop another hand in. Oh, so tight. And those are hinged side to side. Both guys also have alternate heads. For Fenix in the package, he came with kind of a normal look. It's not a lot of emotion here, but his alternate head is a big old smile. For Penta in the package, again, kind of calm. kind of brooding, but then the alternate head, ooh, he's been through some stuffs. The mask is torn up one side. It's got that same craziness to the eyes, but my favorite part is how the makeup is smudged and smeared. One thing to point out though, it is a different mask than the standard neutral one. The black and red has been flipped, so it is kind of a different look that doesn't really stand out at you. It kind of just, you know, another option. On Fenix though, it is the same mask, both heads, same colors, same layout, it looks like, just different mouth or expression, I guess. This kind of caught me off guard. There is a dumbbell joint in the alternate heads. It actually pops down in the neck instead of popping off at the head. But the first time I went to pop Fenix's head, there, it did it again. It popped off at the top. But when I popped it back on and then tried to pop it again, the bottom came out. I think it's because I pushed up from the chin and pushed back. That second time, I pulled from the back down and the whole thing came out. One thing to watch out for pushing in, this goes down deep. If you have it offset a little bit, the neck will push against the edge. And you'll be pushing and pushing and pushing and it'll go nowhere because you're not pushing the pin down in it. You have to straighten it out, get it lined up, push into it. And then each one even came with a weapon accessory. Fenix came with a kendo stick with a nice little sculpt. And there's even this detail work right here that didn't need to be there, but they threw it in anyway. And then Penta came with a fluorescent light. Even put the little grooves on the end, on both ends. For the Lucha de la Muerte set, there's another kendo stick, there's another fluorescent tube. There are 4 sets of rubbery, flexible barbed wire. Look how detailed the sculpt on those are. The barbs are slightly large, but I can't complain about a nice looking barbed wire that you can go around. One side's open so you can hook it. Got yourself a barbed wire match. To go along with that, there's a little Lucille that you can give to the guys. There's also a sickle. This is full-on manslaughter. There's the breakaway table. These 3 pieces pin together in different places. Even the legs snap into place where they just don't fall down, but they stay in position too. Yeah. When you do it like that, it tends to pop all over the place, but if you put it here and here and here, and like that looks beautiful. And then there is a Masked Republic mask included that just pops on like an alternate head. All the sculpt is raised on here, and then the colors just fantastic. Then for the Lucha Extrema set, there's a 2x4, again with the wood detail on it. Oh! Have a nightstick. You can see some sculpted detail to the handle there. A microphone. There's no logo or anything, but they even went in and sculpted, I guess, the on and off button down there. Painted it even. A couple of collars with some real chain running between it. That works great. There's a buckle sculpted on and a loop right there, but it doesn't open up. I guess you take the heads off, put this in between, pop the head back on. Got yourself a dog collar match. There's a cinder block with the appropriate texture on it. It actually feels like concrete. If you want to crack it over somebody's head, it even busts apart. Finally, a folding chair. I like how it's matte black. It looks pretty innocent. Doesn't fold out all the way, or at least it doesn't fold out as far as I thought it would. It still has a slope up. It's like this stop right here hits the front a little too early, but it's a folding chair. So I guess it's supposed to be like this for... This one also comes with a Masked Republic mask. Same sculpt as the other, but in different colors. I can't decide which one I like better. Love the symmetry of this one, but yeah. That one's amazing. If you collect a lot of wrestling figures from a lot of different lines, here's where this may throw you off a bit. Both figures stand at about 6 3/16, which is slightly tall for 1/12 scale, but smaller than the scale used for the Jazzwares AEW Unrivaled line. Here's their Fenix and Penta, and definite difference. But when it comes down to it, especially how the heads integrate into the body, the overall proportions, I prefer the boss fight. The tattoos are a lot more pronounced. They're also small compared to Mattel's WWE line. I don't remember which Fiend this is. It's not the Ultimate one. It's the one before. And then this is Matt Hardy with a different head, I think. But here's why I like them. I can integrate them into the displays I collect. I don't do a lot of wrestling figures, but they scale really well with the Hasbro's G.I. Joe Classified line. Not too shabby next to Hasbro's Star Wars Black Series first Stormtrooper, and then the Marvel Legends comic book Black Panther. You want them hanging around in the MCU? You can do that too. Fits in the Deadpool universe. Or have them take on some Mafex superheroes. So at the end of the day, I have had so much fun this morning. I am a huge wrestling fan. I watch a lot of it, but I don't collect a lot of the figures. I don't know what it is. I kind of keep my hobbies separate. I feel like if I was buying the toys, it'd be something else for me to hunt down, and I already hunt too much already. Wrestling is my sit down, watch, forget about everything else in the world thing. But good figures are good figures, and like I already showed, I have a Fiend, and I have the AEW Lucha Brothers. I have a couple Matt Hardys. And when Boss Fight showed this, I knew I had to have them. One, to try out a new line, which I am now completely hooked on. And two, even in promo shots, they look like badass figures. And guess what? They're badass figures. Like I said, scale may throw people off. This wasn't meant to integrate into other companies' lines. This is more 1/12 scale, or that slight kind of superhero scale that we see. And maybe that's why I don't collect a lot of other wrestling lines, because they're so much bigger than my usual scale. The other sticking point for people here is the price. At $40 a pop, it is expensive, but you have to remember, small company, small production run, and the quality here is fantastic. You go buy an AEW figure, you're getting the figure, maybe another set of hands, maybe an accessory. Here, you get 3 sets of hands, you get 2 alternate heads, and then an accessory. Not even to mention the durable build quality, the fantastic articulation, the beautiful paints. I feel like these are worth the $40. This is import quality stuff. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm ready for the next series. I'm ready for more figures. None of the other wrestling lines have kept my attention. This one has. So if you enjoyed the review, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or just in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Come a long way since the days of thinking about new X-Men figures or dreaming about 6-inch G.I. Joes, which is now a reality. Custom cons, remember those? I really truly feel like Hometown Boy made good, and it's just a fantastic thing. You're a rock star now. These are amazing.